Hello, beautiful awakening souls. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is Monday, August 21st, and I'm just at Fish Creek Park in Calgary, Alberta. Check out this beautiful spot. Love it down here. It's kind of quiet, nice and peaceful, beautiful. So, this is going to be Sasquatch Chronicles number 5. Please, if you want Sasquatch information or anything else, I'm going to be doing lots of videos on different topics. So, please like and subscribe and maybe check out the first 4 videos just to be up to speed on what I'm talking about. So, when I last left, the last video was about the previous night and some experiences in the trailer and them rocking the trailer and throwing pine cones. As I was explaining to one of my friends what happened, they were tossing pine cones at us. So this is where I'll pick up the story that night. So this is the second night at the campground that we had rented. And so yeah, I'll just start going on that story. So that night, we stayed up around the campfire and went to bed, 1 or 2, something like that. It was pretty late. And when we were super excited because of what had happened the previous night. So yeah, a lot of excitement around it. And we were like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So it was like, pitch black. And my buddy Chad and I, we go to the trailer and full of like excitement and like, what's going to happen? So we get in the trailer and there's rooms on the opposite end. So Chad goes to his room and I go to mine. We shut the door. Each of us, right? Good night. So this is where it gets really interesting because it just goes to show what these beings can do. Like, they're extremely powerful. So I closed the door and I sat down on my bed and I start getting ready to go to sleep, right? And doing all the things, changing and whatever. And I was sitting on the bed like no more than a minute, probably not even a minute. And all of a sudden, I hear Chad from the other end of the trailer snoring like a truck. And I think to myself, what the hell? How can you be sleeping? Like, after all the things we had last night and we're so excited, like, how are you sleeping? I'm like, but whatever. It's, it is what it is. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. So I kind of get settled, get the blankets on, whatever. Just kind of, time to sleep. And same as the night before, I hear these footsteps marching up to the trailer. Big, loud, heavy footsteps. And I'm like, wow, that was fast. So they start walking up and down the trailer. And it was very much like I described in the other video. Like walking up and down the trailer, running his hand along the trailer, tapping it, rocking it. Very much the same. I'm not going to get into that too much. Because what happened, the really cool thing is... So on a trailer how they have like the little windows on either side, right? So I hear him walking up and down the sides of the trailer and then walking, and it was like he stopped. He just stopped right at the window on the driver's side. On the driver's side of the trailer. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. If I just reach over and move this little tiny curtain covering this little tiny window, there's going to be a Sasquatch standing right there looking in. But I was just like kind of frozen by fear. And I just couldn't do it. So I'm sitting there with this fear and I'm like, oh my God, this is so stupid. Why am I afraid? I know they're not going to hurt me. Like, they would have, if they were going to do something bad, like, it would have happened. So this fear is ridiculous, but I just couldn't shake it. And I'm sitting there having these thoughts, right? And I know they can hear my thoughts, and they acted on it. So as I'm sitting there in this fear, for like, I don't know, maybe a minute, trying to calm myself down, and I'm laying perfectly still. And all of a sudden there's this glow like right in my heart space, and it's like a a softball size ball of this like beautiful, warm, liquid love. That's the only way I could put it. Like, it's the best description. And I just calmed right down immediately, and I was just like, oh my God, this feels great. And I just, all the anxiety, all the fear just melted away. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you so much for helping me with this. I'm totally calm. Like, let me know. Like, I'm, talking to the Sasquatch, and I'm like, let me know what you want me to do. If you want me to come outside, I'm happy to do that. Like, just give me any sort of sign to come outside. And I just kind of wait for a second. I'm like, any sign at all. Nothing happens. I'm like, kind of like, seriously, give me a sign. I want to come outside now. I feel good. And so they don't give me a sign to come out. But then that ball starts to expand, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then before I know it, I'm floating in this giant orb of this warm liquid love. And it was just the most incredible feeling. And it was just so calm, so peaceful. And I don't know exactly what they were doing to me, but like there was, some kind of energy clearing or whatever. And I just felt incredible. And I just sat in that for a while and was just completely blissed out. I don't know how long I sat in that for. It could have been several minutes. I honestly don't know. Time kind of dilates in that kind of space. And then before I knew it, it was almost like the room I was in became a box. And it was like he was holding that box. So either I shrunk down real small, or he became really big, but like, it was like we shifted into like another dimension or something. And it was like, so it felt like I was in a shoebox and this giant being was holding me. And they're kind of like looking down at me, and they're like turning it and turning it. And they're turning it like this, and they're like holding it back up like this. And I felt this odd curiosity, much like the first video where I talked about how how they were curious about me. I felt this curiosity about me, but like it was more specific, and it was like, is this really him? Is this him? Is this who we think it is? And I didn't know at the time. I figured this out, and in another video I'll talk more about that, because I got clarity like years later on what that was. But they were super curious about me, and I just stayed in this space. And I remember at one point, so like I said, they're tilting this box that I feel like they're holding me in. And then at one point it's like tilting way back, way back, way back. And I felt like I was gonna fall, because of course it felt like my head, like it felt like there was still gravity, and my head's going backwards. So I grabbed into the mattress and just held on for dear life, because I felt like I was going to fall on my head. And then they tilted me back, and then it just got calmer and more peaceful. And at some point, somehow, it's just like I just kind of like faded off. I just drifted off into sleep. So that was really cool. I'm going to end this video right now just because of the timing of it. But I'm going to post another one like right away after this to continue this story. So watch, this is going to be part 5. Watch for part 6 right after this one.